Well, hey guys. So, I don't know how this goes for other YouTubers, but this is like my fifth or sixth video that's kind of ongoing that I'm starting right now. So, I got this box in the mail, and I am really excited about it because I thought it was out of stock forever, and apparently there was like a super secret stash of them somewhere, and now I get one. So excited. Okay. This beast that's too big to fit into my field is Nerdecrafter's Not Another Crap Kit. I don't ever order craft kits, but I kept seeing this one getting reviews and getting used in other videos from other YouTubers that I follow. And I was like, oh, I want that. And of course it was sold out because it's from last year. But Nerdecrafter has another craft kit that is on pre-order right now. So I ordered the pre-order from that. And when I pre-ordered, it was like, ba 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 ba. I unlocked super secret sale. And it was like, here's this thing that you can have. Look at this cute paper. It's so cute. So then, yeah, I was like, yes, I do want to order that super secret sale of the first crap kit. So it comes with this instruction booklet. I'm not going to do a full, because there's so many videos on this already. I'm just excited, and I want to be excited at you guys, because, yeah. I am, however, going to open everything. I've got no chill. It's fine. Okay, so what you do is you put rubber bands on this cute little mold that comes in the kit. The rubber bands come in the kit too. The only thing that doesn't come in the kit is batteries. And then you make some plaster up, which bubbles in a really interesting way. And this is the first time I've used plaster in I don't even know how long. So it was really interesting. And then you pour the plaster into the mold. And then you wait until your plaster outside the mold and the little bowl is hard. And then you can demold your little dude. My little dude is a little bit warm still because it's an exothermic reaction. And also, I definitely did not put enough plaster in there, so he's got a little bit of a flat top. But that's okay. We're gonna put Sculpey on him. I just cleaned up the seams a little bit with an X-Acto blade. And I probably didn't honestly need to because I think I covered all of him with Sculpey. Tiny, what are you doing? Down. Okay, so one of the many cool things that this kit comes with is these little cabochon molds that you can put resin in, and it comes with UV resin and a little UV light. The first one that I got in my kit did not work very well, so they sent me a new one with no questions asked. They were super great about it. So then, the cool little UV resin cabochons, you can use them for a lot of things. These I'm painting his eyes, so you paint the pupils first. Because otherwise your pupils get covered up. And as you can see, I made a whole boatload of things because I have a kind of interesting design in mind where my little critter doesn't have just one set of eyes. He has just a bunch of eyes. And you'll see as we move along what's going to happen there. So my original guy is kind of, I don't know, maybe kobold-like, or maybe he's a baby orc. I'm not really sure. I didn't give him a specific species when I started designing him other than weird frog eyes and bumpy skin. and a tail. He gets a tail eventually. So here I am. Kind of. It's really fun to watch. I'm digging out his nostril. um, and giving him the little lip bumpy between your nostrils. Is that the philtrum? That's the word that's coming to my head from college many years ago. Philtrum. Yep. Anyways, so, oh, I thought I had taken out, I wanted to keep this video all in real time and just cut it down more, but I guess I have a couple spots that I missed. Sorry about that. Yeah, because I really would rather edit videos down than do a lot of time lapse. It really, I don't know. I don't really like watching it sometimes, so we'll see what happens. I'm a very changing person, so we'll see. But mostly, I just went through and smushed stuff. Here I am making a noodle. I feel like every clay person who has a YouTube channel, like, calls their little, clay rollout something different. And mine are going to be noodles for what I think might be obvious reasons. So I'm just taking the noodle and I'm making him a bottom lip. And so I'm smushing it down on one side and leaving it not smushed on the other side. Yeah, so then it looks like he's got kind of a lower lip. And then I'm making a tinier noodle, and I'm taking that noodle, and I'm making him some awkward neck wrinkles that I am really happy with how they turned out. So I make a whole bunch of little neck wrinkles and put them on his neck. And those I smush out on both sides so that they don't look like lips on his neck, because that would be really strange, although now I kind of want to... This sculpting like this gave me a lot of ideas for things that I really want to try in other sculpts. And here I'm just bulking out his neck more because he looks like he's got a really weak chin, and that's not really what I was going for. Yeah, and I'm just adding more neck wrinkles, and yep, smoothing them out. There's a lot of smoothing that got edited out of this video, because I'm guessing that smoothing is like the sculpting version of adding water to a blank sheet of watercolor paper. Like, you don't necessarily want to watch that forever. Here he is getting his tail, and I keep saying him, and I actually decided that this is a girl, and her name is Delilah, so I'm gonna call her Delilah from now on. And this is Delilah getting her skin smoothed on. That sounds creepy now, though. I also want to say I am using Bacon Bond here. The kit also came with Bacon Bond, or what is it called now? It's like Sculpey oven baked clay adhesive, I think. Anyways, so I'm using that in between, like, to stick things onto other things. I am very new to this, so I have no real idea what I'm doing. This is the next day, and I decided that she needed a bigger, poutier lip because, like, it just was not emphatic enough. And the funny thing is like, I was falling asleep, and I was like, do you know what? Her lip's not pouty enough. And so, like, the next day I woke up, and I'm like, she is getting a poutier lip. Here I am actually making ahead some little tiny teeth, and I just roll them out and cut them down and bake them. And here I am making something that I saw on North of the Borders channel, where he makes a really cool little texture thing out of Sculpey, and then he bakes it, and then you can roll it all over your little dude and give him texture. Yeah. And here I am putting in a tooth, putting in a tooth that I just baked. So that's a baked tooth, and the rest of him is not baked. And the reason he is not baked still, and here I am texturizing him with that. So that's the texturizing tool I have baked now, but she is not baked. So yeah, you can get texture on her adorable little head still. So The reason that I baked the teeth ahead of time is so that I could smush them into the mouth like that and they would stay and I wouldn't have to glue them on. I could just use the magic of Sculpey to keep Sculpey in place. Yeah. So she is baked at this point, and I am using epoxy sculpt to attach all of these eyes to the back of her head, and I don't know if they're eyes or not. They're just definitely, they probably look like eyes for sure. So when I started sculpting this, I really wanted to have something glow in the dark behind the eyes, and I have a glow in the dark Sculpey, liquid Sculpey. And then I heard that you're not supposed to put resin in the oven, which totally makes sense to me because it's plastic and you don't want to inhale that stuff. So yeah, I had to bake her and then use epoxy sculpt. And epoxy sculpt, you don't have to bake it. It air dries within 24 hours. But as you will see from me struggling, it's really like, it's very workable for like the first half hour. And then it gets progressively harder to it gets crackier. Like I try to make little ropes and the ropes kind of break. And you can still move it. It's still malleable and you can still smush it around, but it's a lot harder. So I am adding her eyes and all of her weird little, I don't know, maybe I'll call them ornaments? Like an ornament, but an eye. I don't really know if they're functional. Yeah. So yeah, I left lots of spaces behind the eyes to like put that glow-in-the-dark Sculpey stuff in, and then I ended up not being able to do it because I think you have to bake that stuff. Yeah, and so there's just like kind of weird unpainted parts of her eyes that I would have done differently if I had known. That's fine though. Here I'm doing her little feets. And basically I just took epoxy sculpt and made big blobs and smushed her onto the blobs and then cut little toe beans into the blobs. And that is how I made both her feet and her hands. Also, I am really sorry that a lot of stuff is slightly out of frame. I'm really not used to recording myself when I'm sculpting, and I'm really not used to sculpting. So like, I would get super focused and then realize that I'm not even like sitting over my desk anymore. I've just like I'm like hunched over and like holding her in my lap as I try to work out little details and smooth all these little bits. And yeah, I'll get better. Oh, there's Tilly. She's visiting. Hi, Tilly. So this video is like 2 weeks. It took me forever to get this sculpt done, and I am super happy I did it, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more sculpting. I haven't sculpted, honestly, since high school, I think. So, yeah, that was a long time ago. That was so long ago. Oh, my goodness. I'm pretty sure my 25-year reunion happened. I didn't go to it, obviously, otherwise I'd be a little bit more sure if it had happened or not. But I'm pretty sure that I saw classmates that I'm friends with on Facebook going to it, and that's fine. Like, I'm not that person. So now everything is dried and we're putting on a coat of primer, and I start painting with this white paint, and I'm like, oh no, that is not good. And then I switched to like some golden gesso I had lurking around. Also, you can see in this picture that she's got like little tiny toenails, and I break those off later because I just don't like them. I think I would have designed them differently if I had kept them. So now I am measuring out. She's going to have a little doll that she's holding that's going to be flopping onto the ground. So I'm trying to measure out how long the doll's arm should be and how long the doll's body should be so that it kind of hangs in a way that looks like it's sitting on the ground next to her. And there I just cut a skewer down and put it in that little head so that I could attach the head to the doll with it. And that way I don't have to smooth out the area between the head and the doll quite as much. Also, I'm really sorry. I tried to cut out most of the stuff where my gigantic, like, view blocking hands are everywhere, but some of them like got left in. This I'm cutting the doll's button eyes in the only way I could think to do it, which is really, really slowly back and forth to try to keep the little noodle circular at all. Otherwise, your clay just smooshes. So I've got a lot to learn still. It's fine. And here I am. I do a lot of test fitting. Like, does this still work? Will this still fit here? And I kind of left those in because I feel like sometimes I watch other people's videos and I'm like, how did you make that magically work? And I'm guessing they magically tested everything a billion times too. And they just edited that out. And I'm not doing it. So here I am giving the little doll some legs by just cutting it. So it's not just a dress. Now it has legs. Yeah. And this is, I think this is super sculpty, right? Yeah. That is this kind of creepy, like, oh, and here I am giving the doll a butt. Which I think is probably one of my favorite parts. Like, when I put the butt on this little doll, it just, it gives it so much more of a, like, gestural feel. Like, I'm so excited to sculpt something that isn't started on a form that's already provided. Like, I am really glad that I started with a base for this because I feel like I would have gotten overwhelmed. And in fact, I did get overwhelmed when I tried to sculpt on my own before this came. So, but Delilah's adorable, but she's very rigid in her stance, and there's not really a way for me to adjust that. But this little doll looks so, like, gestural and happy to me. Like, I had dolls like this growing up where they, like, just deflated and kind of turned into weird puddles because they just got drug everywhere. So I kept talking even though new things are happening. I know, I'm sorry. So my family gave me all these wood rounds that they cut off of trees. You know, like, trees fell and they're like, here's some cool wood things that you can paint on. And I'm like, ooh, that's awesome. And so they've been sitting in my basement now for, 2 years, a year and a half. And I was like, I needed a base for her, and I kept the one that I made out of the plaster bowl. But when I decided to add a doll, it wasn't big enough for her and the doll to both fit on. So I got one of these out of my basement. And as you can see, I am continuously trying to test to see how and where she and the doll will both fit on this little wood round. That, by the way, smelled amazing. I do not know enough about trees to know what it is, what kind of tree it is, but it smells good. And here I am just trying to make kind of a grassy pattern without, spending 5 hours making a grassy pattern because honestly, this was getting pretty late on Tuesday night and I try to get my videos out on Wednesday and this has already taken 2 weeks. And I promised someone, Clayton, that I would get this out this week. And so here I am painting. I started with a kind of wash that is mostly just water because it's a wash, but then it's red with some brown in it. And I just mixed those up and I applied liberally and got it into all of the cracks because that's where I wanted this. This is going to be the kind of dark base coat. So then I can go over this base coat once it's dried with progressively lighter coats of paint, and it will give my painting depth. That's the hope. And then I gave the same treatment to the little doll, but with a brighter red, because I don't want them to match exactly, but I do want them to have kind of the same color vibe. You know, the funny thing is that like I was gonna paint her green and paint the doll green, and then I realized she was gonna be sitting on green grass, and that seemed really boring. So I'm really glad I changed it. Um, and this is the color that I got to eventually. I think I do some yellow dry brushing over this, and right here I'm just painting teeth and lips a lighter color. Yeah, so here I'm dry brushing, and I just painted right over all of the little eyeballs. Like, they are resin, and that you can just scrape that off with your finger. I mean, not with something hard, because that'll scratch the resin, but... So yeah, I'm just dry brushing, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but, I guess I lucked out, because I really like her final paint job. It probably does help that I paint a lot of, you know, actual paintings with paint. Now I feel like I can handle paint and I'm not worried about what it's doing. So here I am just going in with some watery brown and putting that under her nose and behind her lips to try to give her some more shadow. I love her little belly. It's so cute, and I love the like gradation between like her lower jaw and her belly. And I was gonna put some like speckles of paint in there, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't. I know that I still can, but I kind of have walked away from this now. Like, it's done in my head, so I don't want to be like, I can go back and do more. So here I am putting in that same kind of watery brown around the cracks in her eyes and the cracks in her hands, just to like give her more shadowy depths. In case you guys are wondering, I do have Hey There Delilah stuck in my head now, and I probably will for like the next 5 days, because when that song gets stuck in my head, it never ever leaves. Here's some bad editing for you. I'm really sorry. Like, this is what I was talking about. Like, there are some things that just made it off screen, and I did not fix enough of them. I'm also putting a little bit of dark brownie spots on some of her little wart things, just to accent them. While I'm recording this, I actually am waiting for the glue. I glue her down to the base that I make, so I'm waiting for the glue on that to dry enough that I can do my final shots of her. Because, yeah, right now, if I move the thing that's holding her in place, she starts to slowly tip over. I should have gotten super glue. I am using E6000 to tape, not tape, to glue her down. And apparently that doesn't have like a fast set time like super glue does. I don't usually worry about that because I usually just glue things and walk away. Yep. So here's painting the base. The green I'm doing around the very border like that is sparkly. And the reason I'm doing that is because I accidentally poured out some sparkly paint and I didn't want to just waste it. So, so the rest of the base is just a mix of yellow and blue in various amounts, and then the edges are sparkly green. And then here I am painting her wand. I did not know what I wanted to do with this wand at all, and then I just rolled out a fat noodle, and like I was like, ooh, this is pretty, and I just stuck it onto that skewer and I left it. Like, I just curled the tail around a little bit, and that's it. And I still love it. So it looks very like childlike, and yeah, especially after I, you know, painted glittery stars and hearts and speckles all over it. Yeah, I love the wand. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Although, honestly, it was the most fiddly thing to paint that I painted. And then here I am just showing you how easy it is to peel the paint off of these eyes, but because I wasn't paying attention to where the camera was. You can't really see what I'm doing. Sorry. Here she is all finished. I am going to apologize for these shots. I do not have a good place with a good background to record her, so we're just hanging out on my desk. And you can see my backyard, and it's very distracting. But I love how she turned out. I gave her doll a little heart on her butt. Here she is from the side. And her little doll butt. Leave me a message in the comments if you had a doll that just slowly squished like that, like it just lost its stuffing. Because that's what that makes me think of. Just a very well-loved doll. And there's my neighbor's very cute little red shack in their yard. I wish, let's see if I can get these into the light a little bit. There we go, sort of. Yeah, like all of her eyes are really shiny. It's cool. I promise I'll get better at the end of video shots of my sculptures. My camera is definitely not picking up how colorful she is. Like, she's got so many cool, interesting colors in her paint job. Like lots of oranges and reds and browns and yellows, and I'm so happy with the paint job. Yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think of Delilah and her little buddy, who actually doesn't have a name. And I would love to hear what you guys think of this video. I'd love it if you subscribed and liked my video, because I want to reach more people with my goofy, ridiculous art channel. So, yeah. See you guys next week. I appreciate you all. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers, and you guys, I'm so stoked. I have so many fun ideas of things to do. Yeah, and if you have anything that you would like to see me do, or if you have questions about anything I did in this video, I know that there was a lot I went over, and yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing, but definitely give me questions and I will try to answer them. Also, I have to name her tiny doll. I don't know what to name it. Tiny doll. So if you guys have an idea for Delilah's tiny doll name, let me know. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.